When we last left our hero, he'd made his way from Washington State to an airfield in Texas. It seems that the Exodus military base crew either aren't very good at their jobs or simply can't make up their minds. Being forced to abandon the safe haven of Airfield B-13, our nameless protagonist must now endure the long ride to Florida after inexplicably putting his faith in Exodus again. Although boasting a story mode 5 times as long as the original and a host of new vehicles that are completely destructible, not a lot has changed from 2012 smash hit Earn to Die. Along with the simplistic graphics and cheesy rock soundtrack, the simple play, upgrade, repeat mechanic remains solidly intact. The player must make their way from point A to point B by finding vehicles, upgrading them for performance and survivability, and traversing the dangerous road ahead. In the original, the landscape consisted of nothing more than a slightly hilly desert scene littered with boxes and barrels. This time around, things are much different. Our playground is now a concrete jungle, an industrial wasteland of ruined buildings, collapsed highways, unfinished construction, and destroyed bridges. The new concrete and steel backdrop doesn't only change the overall color tone from brown to grey, but adds in a multi-layered driving experience with many different paths to take. This change doesn't seem to have too much of an effect on being able to successfully complete stages, but it does feel fresh to occasionally take a different path, intentionally or not. Upgrades to vehicles get progressively more expensive, and the player can choose to purchase additional in-game currency to speed up the process. On this front, non-paying players can start to feel a little bit of a grind kick in towards the end of each stage, repeating courses many times in order to obtain that little performance boost that pushes them across the line. Another addition this time around is the inclusion of a premium gas boost system. Driving with regular gas will provide a standard run at no extra charge, but purchasing one of the Plus, Premium, or Ultimate gas variants will provide increased levels of performance enhancement, i.e. the more you pay, the further you drive. I actually found this mechanic to be a little more disturbing than the inclusion of the basic pay money, get coins type of IAP. Not only does the game highlight the most expensive boost you can afford with your current cash surplus in an attempt to siphon cash reserves from the player before each game, but it feels absolutely necessary to use one of these in order to pass the final checkpoint in each level. It's like they took Earn to Die 2012's progression system and equated that to the user exclusively using the ultimate gas upgrade in Earn to Die 2, as if the game is, by default, set at a 70% handicap. The slowdown effect and accompanying awesome text splash when you randomly crush boxes can feel exhilarating, if not oftentimes misplaced. It definitely seems to be triggered by boxes breaking, which by itself would be fine, except there's so much other stuff going on that is easily more exciting. You can drive into exploding barrels, hurtling shrapnel all over the screen, or squish half a dozen zombies in one go with no satisfying feedback whatsoever. A few of the upgrades available can change the physical shape of the vehicle. This adds a really nice sense of accomplishment for the player. Unfortunately, it can also make the vehicles unsuitable for the terrain in which they're placed. A perfect example being the ice cream van, which, stock, only just manages to fit inside the concrete tubes laid out before it. With fully upgraded tyres raising the vehicle and plate armour adding bulk, the player is forced to slow down to a crawl to avoid damage, and it simply doesn't feel good to drive slowly in this game. My last and by far biggest issue with the game relates to the actual vehicle upgrade system. Instead of attempting to complete stages in any vehicle the player has unlocked, we are now forced to use a specific car for each stage. So for example, stage 1 has to be the buggy, stage 2 has to be the classic sedan, stage 3 has to be the ice cream van, and so on. In the original game, if I wanted to, I could use the Beetle until I'd saved up enough money to unlock the Mustang, or skip the Mustang altogether and go for the truck. Yes, you had options, but the game's design cleverly made you change up your vehicle to progress further and subsequently earn even greater rewards. Restricting the vehicle choices the player can make only seems to artificially extend the playtime required to complete each stage. Is my fully upgraded ice cream van from level 3 faster and more efficient than the stock level 4 police cruiser? I'm willing to bet the answer is yes. All in all, for a sequel to such a highly regarded title, Earn to Die 2 is not bad. Most of what made the original such an incredible ride remains, and despite my concerns, the game is still super fun. I just can't help feeling like business decisions are interfering with game design. The first game did so much right, and it's baffling why the formula would be tweaked to such a degree. The show's not over yet though, as Toffee Games and Not Doppler have assured us that an additional mission mode will be available soon, and if they're watching, I'd still love to see a procedurally generated endless mode included in the game. Thank you for joining me for today's review of Earn to Die 2. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews and gameplay footage from the latest mobile games, and check out GameMob, that's www.gamemob.com.